Hello, Internet. I am Sebastian with InvestComics.com, and this is another lonely fic. Sean got trapped behind the counter because Jared, his not-so-trusty co-worker, remembered at the last minute that he needed to get to the post office and do several other store-related errands that could have been done all day. The best laid plans of no one and no one else. So, Sean did leave me with a cheat sheet because he wanted to be here in spirit. So we do have the Sean Sorensen review cheat sheet that I will refer to when I get to the various books that Sean has read. A couple right off the top here include the loud beepy sound. Also includes Green Lantern, Without a Ring, Without a Chance. Dun dun dun. It was, well, let's go straight with Sean. Sean says, Green Lantern, good, well, not that good, but not bad. So there you go. He also...
He really is here in spirit.
It's like if you squint, he's here. We did talk about it, Sean and I, and there's, Hal gets a little jealous of being shown the amount of time that Kyle is spending with Carol. And as Sean put it, because Sean, he's very delicate like that. He's a very sensitive soul. He said, it's not Kyle's fault he's putting it in. It's not his fault. Which they have not alluded to as yet. But, hey, you never know. Granted, Kyle Rayner girls don't end up doing that well, so I wonder if it will technically be his fault in Hal's eyes if and when Carol ends up killed for spending too much time with Kyle. But it's alright. Avengers. Let's just go with Sean's review, which says 3 pages in and... So, yeah, it's just a lot, and that's about as far as we got. Hunger's really good. I like Galactus better than I ever have any time. Well, except for when Franklin's Galactus. Franklin's always an awesome Galactus. But Hunger, our Galactus in the Ultimate World, he's just like, oh, new world. Nom, nom, nom. And he has already recruited Galactus, the Galactus Swarm, to be sort of his herald, sort of his power. And you've got
into his armor.
He bumps into the ultimate Norrin Rad, and Norrin Rad's like, you know me? He's like, yeah. He's like, the universe is funny. And yeah, Galactus is really cool. Sean review for Hunger, so planet eating good, right? Or as we call in the business, Dave Lampy good. Sheltered. I didn't read it, so we'll go with Sean's lengthy review. You ready for this? It's going to take a minute. Sean says, meh. Trillium. Fan-beeping-tastic is Sean's review. I didn't read it because I suck like that. I had no idea that this even came out. We had a problem with my pull list. I had to pull my own books. So I completely missed the chance to read this. It's Jeff Lemire, so I would have taken a look at it. And apparently it, as I've come to understand, is fan-beeping-tastic. So that's got to be worth something. This one was fan-beeping-tastic. Superman Action Comics is just beep. That's all I got. See the segue. Detective Comics was odd. I've been liking Layman and Fabog's Detective. However, this particular issue, it's like, I don't know. It's like Batman. I get the whole, I know it's this guy, but I can't prove it's this guy. So I have to take him down. But at the same time, I haven't seen a lot of Batman troubled by burden of proof in his career. So maybe Adam West Batman. So I was a little confused by that. Also, Alfred's in trouble, and I really like the man bat, woman bat, backup story stuff. Damsels is good. We get a whole bunch more characters. People want to train from Rappa how to, that's short for Rapunzel, how to be strong, independent heroines. And Rappa is like, look, I'm not really a hero. I kind of fucked up my entire mission, and meeting you guys technically just took out the witch we just met. So really, what the hell are you hero worshiping me for? But still, my favorite is uh, is Heinrich, is the Frog Prince. He just makes me happy. I don't know what to tell you. Game of Thrones. You know, you love the book, you love the show. The comic's good. I don't know, you'll love it too. It's just another piece. And this one has, this is the turn of the tide for the Starks. We're still way back in the first book in this one. So this is Ned's very bad day. Not the beheading day, just the I've got the upper hand and I'm gonna fix this for the kingdom. And what do you mean nobody's actually on my side? Oh, who's trapped? Kind of deal. So this is that. This was awesome. This is Dynamite's Pathfinder spin-off. This is Goblins. I don't know if this is a series, a one-shot. This is awesome. Pathfinder's been fun. I'm being told in the wings that it's a 5-issue miniseries. This is so brilliant. Oh my god. The first story, there's 2 stories in this. All right, the first story is just an adventuring party comes out of a dungeon where they've just stolen the artifact magical eye from a lich. At which point the goblins, who decided rather than actually fight healthy parties, will wait outside, and when the survivors come limping out, they'll just attack them and take all their stuff. And they get this magic eye, and then there's just eyes being popped out left and right as goblins fight over this and are popping each other's eyes out, popping their own eyes out to be able to put it in. But because it's a lich's, then even the goblins that get killed so that the other goblins can steal it from them come back and are still trying to steal it. And it's just a mess of goblins killing each other while one goblin hides behind a tree going, what the hell, as they fight over this. But the backups, the second story, oh my god, there's some sophisticated upper-class guy gets this idea that he's going to train goblins. Look, we got visual aids. You can get the Pathfinder's goblins. Hey, these are the guys. Yeah. These are those guys. This is awesome. I may buy these just because these guys are so awesome. There's Chief Hulk. Anywho, second story, guy decides he's going to train goblins to be like servants, and he can teach them to be smart. He's got some magic items. He's got a monocle that he wears that makes him smart. He lets one of the goblins, his little goblin butler, borrow it. The goblin butler has decided, first he's decided he just wants to escape, but as he gets smarter, he's still goblin. He ends up kind of running the show. He and his little goblins, and it's just brilliant. And you got this little goblin dressed like in this, he's in his little tux with his little mustache, and there's a pug that the goblin considers the most valiant warrior he's ever met. And it's just this little smug little goblin. You see that little smug little goblin in his little finery. It's brilliant. This book was hysterical. It was good art, good story, good stuff. The Shadow. Still Shadow fighting the light. See what we're doing? Vengeance, justice, light, dark. But it's good. I'm liking the Shadow. This is Chris Robertson. Is good. He gets apparently this light chick is. She's an unstoppable. Everybody she's gone after, she's killed. She's even managed to get away not once but twice from the Shadow. But Margot Lane, don't mess with Margot Lane. She can hold you off until the Shadow arrives. She's just that good. Phantom Stranger. I know, right? I don't normally review this one, but I wanted to read this one because this is the one where they go into the dead, and it turns out they're going in to try and talk to Dr. Light. But Zoriel had told Phantom Stranger, you're not allowed to come into the afterlife to try and steal souls out anymore and bring them back to life. If you do it again, I'm going to erase you from time. Well, he did it again. Oops, I did it again. I stole some souls from heaven. Got lost in time and space. Because, Zoriel's like, I told you. And but he goes in with Batman, Katana, and Deadman. Wow. James DeMatteis can write. He's James DeMatteis. I love the man. But Batman, they end up in heaven, and part of heaven is personalized to everyone. So when they get there, whatever your true, that's what you see, what your version of heaven is. So they all end up kind of separated from each other. Batman's heaven naturally is going to involve young Bruce and his family, but everyone else ends up lost in their thing. But when they get to Batman's paradise, Phantom Stranger and Katana stand there, and they're like, she's like, that boy is Bruce, and from behind them, out of the shadows, out comes Batman and goes, it was me. And Batman is the only one who doesn't get put into his own, Batman just watches it and goes, yeah, this is the heaven I wanted. I just wanted to take a peek at what it would be like. I had a moment of wanting to see what this would be. The moment's passed. Batman walks out on heaven because he's fucking Batman. He's the goddamn Batman. So yeah, this was actually really, really good. Oh no. Swamp Thing, so good. Charles Soule, so good. Kano on art, so good. And ooh, I can't wait till the next time Swamp Thing comes across Constantine. Constantine, of course, has been taken over by the weird possessing magical power of the rum tree, or the whiskey tree, the rum tree, whiskey tree, and yeah, you got Swamp Thing saying stuff like, "Another time for you, magician. This wasn't your fault. It was Cedar. But of all those here, you came closest to death tonight. We'll speak again." That's not the speech you want when the Avatar of the Green leaves for the day. You don't want, we're going to talk about this. You're this close to me killing you. And I don't like killing things. I represent the green. But you... So that's but this is so good. Charles, I've been reading these, and I'm going to get the trades of these, because these are that good. Deja Forest, number 28. I have not been saying numbers. Deja Forest, number 28. Again, it's the it's what's her name on art. It's Derek Ritter. I think really she needs an inker. Overall, the art is good. However, it seems to be that her inking skills take away from it. And I think if they got someone else to ink over her, that'd be awesome. Sidekick number 1, Straczynski and Mandrake. Really good, really weird. This is the show and review. Makes me feel bad for Robin. Aw. But yeah, it's a sidekick. Flyboy is the sidekick of the Crimson Cowl, who meets an early demise. However, Flyboy had one day. He saved the day. That was it. He saved the entire city. Crimson Crusaders, Crimson Cowls, like, look, he's never call him a sidekick again. He's a hero. Apparently, after that was it. The rest of his career, they referred to him as the boy hostage. He never really had he had his one moment where he peaked, and then that was it. So now, without the hero, nobody takes him seriously, and he's including himself, and he's just really trying to gain back that glory of, I want to be a real hero. I want to be, but I'm, kind of and it's sad, it's touching, it's little more on the the grim gritty reality side. It's not like Mark Millar, if you pronounce it wrong, but Mark Millar kind of craziness, but it's a tad to that side of the normal Batman and Robin dynamic, meaning like you've got a dejected sidekick who may or may not frequent hookers and stalk his ex-girlfriend, and things like that. The Final Plague. Lady Rawhide, number 1, was good. Wasn't great, but it was good, and it's the first issue, so I'm willing to give it some leeway. Art's really nice. Story's really Eric Trotman on story, and Milton Estevam on art. It was good. It was okay. Black Bat number 4, not my favorite. Lords of Mars number 1, slow burn for the start, but good. This is the one that's going to pair up Edgar Rice Burroughs' biggest character. So we've got Tarzan, and you've got John Carter, Warlord of Mars. Tarzan's in England dealing with the usual arrogant, stuck-up, not quite aristocracy, but upper class, who view him poorly because, well, his parents were monkeys. They were apes. We don't go for that around here. Not if you're going to call yourself Lord. Lord of what? Lord of the Apes. Oh shit, he is Lord. He's Lord of the Apes. Holy shit, let's get out of here. He's gonna become one of the Lords of Mars. It's plural. So he's Lord Greystoke, Lord of Mars, when he meets Warlord of Mars. So there's a lot of lords and a couple of war. Meanwhile, while that's going on, you've got John Carter is dealing with the dual-fold problem of the menace of the white apes of Mars versus the fact that they also happen to be, you can't just wipe them out because there's a whole nother, one of the Martian civilizations kind of thinks of them as sacred beasts. And it also just builds for naturally, you've got apes, you've got John Carter going after apes, and you've got Tarzan and he about to cross paths somehow. So probably Tarzan of the white apes now. It'll be complicated, to say the least. Superior Foes of Spider-Man #2 is actually really, really good. This book, and I'm not an Nick Spencer fan. We know that if we watch these shows. I'm not a Nick Spencer fan. But he writes this really well. I'm actually starting to really love Boomerang. Chameleon's a dick. I still don't know when this works in Marvel continuity because I believe Chameleon is currently locked up in a cage by Superior Doc Ock Spider-Man, but I could be wrong. Speaking of Superior Doc Ock Spider-Man, there's a new Green Goblin in town. Hobgoblin is not having a good day. Doc Ock Spider-Man is both brilliant and he's like an absent-minded professor. He thinks of all these super technology, super crazy, super detailed ways of doing things, and then anything that he doesn't think of never occurs to him. So there's these giant flaws in his plans. His stuff is brilliant, except for when it's not. And I still want Peter Parker back. I have to stress that every time I review one of these, but I like it. All new X-Men, Jean Grey and the Beast. Ooh. Scott and Iceman bump into a couple people, meet some chicks when they go out. They decide they're going to go out and explore outside of the school. They're going to go on their own, going to go hang out, try and see what kids do today. Mostly they find out that it's a lot more expensive than when they were kids. But Beast, Jean hangs out with both Beasts, and through gleaning memories from older Beasts, she then goes and has a talk with younger Beast that leads to this kind of moment. Also, we have the brilliant but non-worded first encounter, second encounter, and I think third encounter, possibly just first and second, of Jean Grey and Rachel Grey. Who Rachel Grey had no idea that Jean was, was back, and this is her first meeting of her alternate dimension mom, alternate timeline mom who hasn't become her mom yet. So that's always good. Batwing, it's Palmiotti and Gray. It's good. We've got Lady Vic in here, and for a revamp, she's still Lady Vic, so that's always a plus. And you've got kind of Peter Parker luck going on for poor Batwing, where he saves his family, but they don't know it's him, so they give him a hard time for not, where were you? All this stuff happened while you were. He's like, look, I was nearly getting killed saving Dad, but he can't tell them that. So, all in all, good stuff. Green Arrow #23. Sean says, good, not as good as previous issues. I still say fantastic, because it just really is. And you're getting some of the origin of Shadow, which also becomes part of the origin of Komodo, which also becomes part of the origin of Green Arrow, or at least his father. So everybody's connected. We are all one side of the same arrow, as it were. And I like the new Count Vertigo. And I wasn't sure I was going to, because I loved Count Vertigo as a pre-New 52 character. Helheim. Sean says, so head-slashing good. So Helheim #6 really is so head-slashing good. This is the end of this run, but it does promise us that Ricard will return. This is so good. If you haven't read this, I'm sure the trade should be out soon. Get it. This is undead Viking Avenger versus witches, demons, and undead. So really, what's not to love? The Movement number 4 gives you a bunch of origins of various members of the Movement. I love this book. I love this book. I love these characters. I think Mouse over here and the Burden are two of my favorite new 52 creations. I love Virtue. Interesting, some goings on with what the hell's her name? Tremor something. But apparently, in one of the rules for the new 52 DC team books is they all have to have someone who's a traitor. That's like a law. The victory is good. We get a character loses a mother. I'm upset because something goes not well for my favorite villain in almost ever. He was just a great visual and a great character. But alas, he is no more. And it's just good. It's just good. Catalyst Comics number 2 is just okay. I liked the first one, but it's not doing it for me. Critter High Tide Part 3, so Critter number 13. This book is so good, and we get giant robot octopus, so that's a plus. The character piloting that is called Paranaut, and her secret identity, if you've been reading Critter, is a whoa moment. But yeah, tide pool is continuing to just flood the world. The heroes are trying to stop him to not a lot of avail, and now we're bringing in giant robot octopi. So it's getting serious. Plus, this is issue 13, and 2 more issues. My character Cat 5 will be making her second appearance because the big dog at Big Dog Inc., Critter creator and writer Tom Hutchison, he likes Cat 5. So when he puts out the call to borrow characters for appearances and backgrounds of stuff, I throw her out there, and this is his second time saying yes. So Critter gonna host my Cat 5, which makes me happy. Higher Earth number 9 is over. Skyward number 2 is really good, really good. I liked number 1. I love number 2. The art is great. The story here expands the character list. We meet a bunch of characters that, if you've been reading it as a self-published book, you know some of these characters. I have seen artwork for them, but I haven't read any of the self-published stuff. So this has been good. It's a fun, smart fantasy with great characters. Read that. Another one from Action Lab, Princeless, Tales of Girls Who Rock. Another one-shot for the Princeless characters. You got a handful of writers, handful of stories. It's good stuff. This is always fun. This is one of the comics I read with my daughter. She loves it. It's good stuff. Dial H number 15. As we build to our tragic end. This was really good. It wraps everything up nicely and leaves just enough wiggle room open up for Justice League number 23.3, Dial E. So this wraps up the story of the Dials, the battle of the Dials, the origin of the Dials. We meet the operator. We have a lot of people dialing up a lot of stuff, and people need to open windows because Open Window Man is going to be key, but all the windows they find are closed. So it's some good stuff. Suicide Risk, number 4. I've been loving this book. At first, I was reading this and I was like, what? Because it seemed to be suddenly going a whole different, it suddenly took a turn for a different field than what it was, and I was like, what? But then it ended brilliantly, beautifully, and I love Recoil, this character, sometimes known as Requiem, but mostly known as Recoil. I love this character, I love this world, I love this stuff. Shadow Man, so good, such a powerful ending to the battle in the Deadlands with Mr. Dark, Master Dark. It's just good. It's valiant, and nothing they do is bad. I've been loving Shadow Man. You should read Shadow Man. Quantum and Woody #2. In all caps with 1, 2, 3, 4 exclamation points. Sean says, so good! And I will say, so good too. It's Quantum and Woody. It's so good. It's crazy. One of the greatest moments in comics this week is the two of them. They've been zapped by the stuff, so they're completely naked as their powers are kicking in because all their clothes, the whole building got wiped out. But they have a moment where they're yelling at each other and they grab each other to, like, you know, get over here, listen. And they end up like almost nose to nose, but literally other organ to other organ, because they stop in mid yell and go, oh, and then, you know, and Woody's like, I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen. So they get a little closer than brother and foster brother ever should, but it's a great book. Earth 2 #2 continues to be so good. It's just awesome. And let's go with Sean's. Sean says, good. Don't leave, James Robinson. Because it's just that good. Oh, I'm going to be so sad when James Robinson leaves. I'm hoping that the guy that writes the video game Justice Leagues Kill Each Other, what the hell's that called? Injustice. I'm hoping that guy can step up and do at least 3/4 of the job. I need more than half, because this was just that good. Legend of Luther Strode. Sean's review says, good, bring on volume 3. Oh, this is so good. Such a great ending. Such a great everything, and just Justin Jordan writes fantastically. He keeps trying to save Superboy, God bless him, or at least he was trying. I guess he's leaving the book, but he was playing in that broken toy box and doing a good job. This, his own creation, he's done fantastic on. But I gotta say, Trad Moore on art. It's such a stylized. I don't think this book could possibly have been the same book without his art and his style. So that's amazing. The end of X Factor Part 4 of 6 breaks my heart, but this was normally when you think of Magneto's kids and Magneto's kids and their the siblings, you think of Wanda and Pietro. You think of Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch, but this time you get the pairing of the X Factor pairing, because Wanda was never on the X Factor. She was always an X-Men or she was always an Avenger and whatever. But Quicksilver and
Polaris?
and Polaris have both been X Factor. So he and his half sister meet up, and it's just Pietro gets to be not the dick. How amazing is that? He gets to be the reasonable sibling. A dynamic he doesn't usually have with his full sister, the Scarlet Witch. So good. I'm going to cry when this is over. I'm so glad that Peter David's doing so well, recovering from his stroke, to keep putting these out and see this through to the end. And I hope after that somebody puts him on something really good. But all right, that was longer than I wanted it to be, but not as long as it could have been. Pathfinder Goblins. Did I hit everything in Sean's? I did. Okay. Thank you, Internet.